Okay, Gavin, go ahead and continue.
Well, there's levels of obviousness, I think, about doing this. I just. It also brings up the question of how, if you've got a persistent world where you can get quests. Admittedly, it might be a quest to take a packet to someone across the other side of town, and it's nothing particularly fantastic, but it's a quest of some sort. Mm. I was kind of envisaging the vast majority of people giving out quests at some level.
Okay.
And the people who wouldn't have anything interesting when you interact with them, or perhaps not even be able to interact with them, would be the vast minority.
You get the Ulgrimar grunt situation, which is if you've not played WoW, in one of the largest cities in WoW called Ulgrimar, you have a bunch of named NPCs, and then you have sort of filler NPCs that have just a stock name that wander around on paths, and you can't interact with them, but they fill out the background a bit more, so it feels more busy than it is.
This is the thing. I'm kind of envisaging those to be in the absolute minority. Because I'm just like the idea of a world where people have got their own objectives, and okay, if you choose to go and start a conversation with some field worker, for instance, the quest that they need doing might just be to finish their work quicker so that they can go and meet their girlfriend, and it might not pay very much. But then you've gone and talked to someone of at the bottom of the classes. What do you expect them to say to you? Whereas if you go to and speak to someone who's loitering suspiciously in a dark corner, wearing a hood and carrying a big weapon, then they're going to have a more interesting quest. I think you should be able to expect that level of common sense from a player.
You're kind of imposing one of two options though. There, you either have very small towns, or you have an awful lot of quests.
But the thing is, it's not. They're not.
You see where I'm coming from there?
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at procedurally generating. Because the people, like the farm worker end of the scale, it does.
Oh, I wasn't talking about I wasn't talking about the difficulty of writing quests. I was just saying there would be an awful lot.
Well,
I'm talking about a scale of what's the word? A scale of repetition, and also a scale of characters' growth. If you have a load of low-level quests that are not very difficult and don't yield much, experience and things, then what's stopping a character just grinding those until they're at the top level? And it's a side point, but
why stop them?
It's going to take them years. It's going to be dull for them, and they'll get bored with it, and they'll go on to try something more interesting.
We've really diverged away from the topic.
Well, I don't think so, because to my mind, it's only if you have the minority of people giving out quests where the floating punctuation becomes an issue at all. Because if everyone gives out quests that make sense for what they are, then it's just on the onus on the player to not be a complete numpty and just wander around the fields asking people for something to do and then complaining because it's dull. When there's a knight on a charger riding, fighting off orcs on the opposite side of the road.
Well, I certainly hope then in this case that we decide not to do anything along the lines of an epic quest arc, because I know that I for one would be highly frustrated trying to find my way through each path of the epic arc. Who's the next person I need to get an actual meaningful quest from, as opposed to another. Yet another automatically generated, please help me carry this bushel of apples across town quest. Because everybody I talk to has that quest, but apparently only this one guy in town has my epic quest, but I don't know who the hell he is. So I'm talking to everybody.
Well, maybe you should stop talking to everyone who's hanging around in the fields looking like scum, rather than going to the obviously, the bar where all the people,
Exactly, because the bar is obviously the place where all of the Epic Arc people hang out.
Well, why not? I mean, that makes more sense. But anyway, my point, though, is that the Epic Arc quest, you're always going to have a go here and do something, and that's something that you do, whether it's, I don't know, finding a book or talking to a person. That's going to be an objective. And I think we've kind of
From where are you going to get those
two
quests?
Issues.
No, we're not. From where are you going to get those quests, Nelson?
My point, though, is that Epic Arc, the next quest giver is always going to be an objective.
Yes,
or
so you all
something
get
like
on
that,
the
right?
railroad and travel down the epic plot. It would, if you had that as an element, it would feel way, way too railroady.
How different is that from what Zach's suggesting, saying that everybody's going to have question marks over there, or 5 people in every city is going to have an explanation point over their head?
I'm not fighting for having floating punctuation, just so you know.
Oh, my point is the difference between what I'm saying and what Zach's saying is Zach's saying that you should have, as part of the Epic Quest, is go to this place, and then that place has 5 people with quests, and then you do all 5 of those quests, and one of those quests leads you to the next place, and so on and so on. My point is why not just have the Epic Quest just be one step less, so we can completely avoid having to ruin the suspension of belief by making people too obvious quest givers, or look like words.
Yeah, seriously, the whole thing was kind of a train wreck. I'm trying desperately to follow you, though.
Okay. The difference between what you're saying, that step 1, do all the stuff that this person wants you to do. Step 2, he tells you to go to a different town. Step 3, find everybody in that town that has quests.
I never said that. I never said any of that.
That's what you're kind of implying. Because my point is, why not cut out that 3rd step and just say
Wait, what was step 3 again?
Step 3 was walk around that town to find the next epic quest.
That's never been a step in any Epic Arc that I've ever even remotely heard of. At best, they send you to a new location directly to a specific person. What I'm saying is, why when you go to that location, can't that specific person be highlighted in a way to make it easier to find, so that you're not wondering, hey, are you the guy that I'm supposed to talk to? Wait, are you the guy I'm supposed to talk to? Hang on.
No.
Are you the guy I'm supposed to... No, I don't want to carry your bushel of apples. I'm just looking for this one guy, damn it.
That's all I'm saying. There is a difference between that and what we're talking about. That is a quest objective. There should be an indication somewhere to where the person you have to talk to for a quest objective. That's not getting a new quest. That objective leads you to that person, who then gives you another quest.
Great. So you talk to that person from then on, and now, because they're no longer an objective, you're saying they should never be highlighted ever again for any reason whatsoever. Correct?
They don't have quests. I mean, why would they be highlighted?
Actually, in every quest arc I've ever seen like that, when you do complete the quest where they are temporarily an objective, I'll go with you so you don't have a hemorrhage. After that point, they do become a quest giver, and they start giving you your instructions from that point on. But
then you should know. But you should just know that that's the person you go to.
Cool. You have a lot more faith in humanity than I do, but we've discussed that before, and we don't need to get back on that soapbox again. Because the point is, I can get that quest done. I can. They were an objective. That's fine. They've been relegated to the state of objective. I talk to them, and now this whole new area is unlocked, and we've unlocked this new part of the Epic Arc. But you know what? Damn it! It's 3 a.m. and I'm tired. Now that I've completed this next part, I'm going to go to bed.
And let me inject in with I want to parallel with that.
Hurry up.
The simple thing that I always do, since I don't like reading tons of quest junk, I turn in the one quest, and I end up closing the dialogue before I even realize that he had the next thing. And then you're telling me, oh, did you pick this up from him? Oh, crap, I didn't even notice he had something.
Sure.
Now continue.
But I mean, the system you're suggesting is going to be a heck of a lot more convenient if all you do is play the game all the time. Because if you walk away even for a minute and go do anything else, and you've forgotten that this one guy who was wearing this hat and this outfit and this particular selection of textures was the quest giver, you're going to be like, oh my god, where did I get that stupid quest from? And you will go a-hunting. A-hunting you will go for that quest giver. And if that's the kind of environment you're searching for, if basically you really want the real-world experience of wandering back around the city going, oh my god, who the hell did I talk to get this quest from, so that I can get some more of their quests and continue on with all the story and everything, then that's fine. That's not exactly what I had in mind, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, there's two points to that I want to mention. The first point is that person is going to obviously be a very prominent person. He's going to be a person sitting on a throne.
How is that obvious? They're going to be sitting on a throne? All of our quest givers have thrones now?
If they're epic
oh my god, we're going to call the game
like
Game of Thrones. Wait. Damn.
Be careful. We're going to get sued.
No, my point is like, you know, they're going to be the bartender at the bar, or they're going to be somewhat prominent. But however, my second point is if they had additional quests to give you and you didn't take them, and they happen to be epic quests or part of the epic arc, what's wrong with having something in your little user interface thing saying that, hey, this is the epic arc person and he has more quests for you that you ignored? Or why don't we do that for every NPC that you decline? Just have like a little queue of quests that you ignore that you can always go back to, and the epic ones are like highlighted or moved to the top or something.
Sure.
Yeah, I am completely down with skill sets tying into HUD control for being able to switch over to a filter mode for showing people that have work.
Sure, but what are you picturing? Like a little dossier window with like a mug shot where I've got to have that up on the screen the whole time and kind of compare that to everybody I walk up to go like, was this the guy? No, he's got a different goatee.
Have you ever played a game with a journal before?
I have played many a game with a journal. Do you really want to force people to have that open all the time they're walking from person to person?
I've never had to have it open. From you look at it and you see what you've got to find, and then you go and.
Well, see point one.
You're pushing to extremes of silliness.
Zach. Okay, so you're talking about that one quest.
Wait, no, stop, Gavin. I'm doing what now?
It doesn't. You know, the idea that you would, like you said just now, you'd be trying to find this guy who you'd been sent to find, and so you're walking around and, stop giving me these quests to get the apples. I never suggested that everyone should be giving out pointless little quests, but if you're looking for someone that you've been sent to find, unless you're looking for someone who's disguised themselves as a field worker, why are you asking field workers if they're them?
I'm not trying to
what
picture
happens when you
it.
get into a situation where the main quest makes you go talk to someone and it makes you go find a field worker?
Well, yes, but again, that's going to be an edge case. That's a very specific occasion, and part of that, you know, if that's the quest, then either you find someone who can tell you what the distinguishing feature of that person is, or where their house is, or you go around and ask people. And if you haven't got the, you know, if that's your choice of how to do it, then you.
Zach.
Sure, real quick, Gavin. Yes, that's exactly what you said, is that you had pictured most of the people in the game having quests, and when more details were tried to get out of you as to what kind of quests, you said, yes, they would be the procedurally generated quests. Now, we can be cool about our procedurally generated system, and a whole lot of work can go into it, etc., and so forth. But it's still going to be a bunch of mindless duties to perform just to get some money or some experience or something like that. So yes, that is exactly what you said.
But those sorts of quests aren't going to be given to you. You know, what, if somebody's playing the game and they're looking for a major quest, and they're asking field workers, who are the sorts of people I said would be giving out these generic quests.
All right, open your mind past the point where our entire game is nothing but quest givers, and field workers. Because I'm thinking of, in your mind, that quest givers are dressed up like pimps or something. So they've got big plush purple suits with great big hats. Well, no, but that's the thing. I'm trying to make a point of the fact that you're caught up on, why are you asking field workers? Why are you asking field workers?
Well, because if somebody's playing the game, they really, if they're of a level of intelligence that can't distinguish between they're trying to do
field worker
and that. Yeah, I know. I can't think of any other occupation though. But really, they're not going to be able to eat food without having it cut up for them in the real world.
Get your head out your ass.
Okay.
No, let me finish.
Go.
The way you have to think about your players they are the lowest common denominator. Let me finish. You have to cater for that person. Otherwise, you're just making it elitist.
No, not a person who can't tell the difference between a peasant and a non-peasant.
I'm not even saying talk to all the peasants. Damn it. Okay, let's take this to a whole different world. Okay, please, can
I just say one thing?
Come on, Nelson, get it out of your system before you explode over there.
Okay, Zach.
Yes.
I realized that you had problems finding Lee.
Sure.
Did you have any problems finding the bartender?
Depends on which bartender. If you didn't notice in that bar, there's multiple levels. Yes, I actually talked to the one on the first floor, and he wasn't the bartender I was supposed to go talk to. Turns out the one I was supposed to go talk to is upstairs in a little tiny alcove that doesn't even qualify as a bar. It looks like a little frickin' broom closet that happens to be cut off halfway through. So I'm not going to say I had quote-unquote problems, but I sure as hell didn't walk right up to him and say hi.
That's not a problem with the idea, though. That's a problem with the implementation in that case.
Yeah, right. I mean, did you? I mean, I'm trying to think of another character situation.
Look, let me throw this out real quick, Gavin. I'm not saying that you keep accusing me of going to these silly extremes, and you are so stuck in one that it's starting to frighten me a little bit. If you're in a situation where you're in a room full of people that are dressed relatively alike, let's say a corporate office building, and you know that one of those people has a job for you, how are you going to differentiate between the ones who do and the ones who don't? Are you just going to leave that up to the player to walk from cubicle to cubicle saying, hey, are you my contact? Okay, no. How about you? Are you my contact? I mean, now that's fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm asking, is that what you had in mind?
It is, but except
okay, then
for the fact
that's
that,
all I needed.
No, listen, let me finish. It is, except for the fact that I think that's a very bad idea for a quest. Rather than doing that...
No, if it were a quest, he'd be an objective. I'm talking about if you're trying to go to somebody to get a quest. You guys corrected me on that, so at least I can correct you on it once.
But the office workers will only be giving you quest related. Why are you going to see an office worker in the first place?
Because is this some sort of caste system now, where if you're an office worker, that's all you can ever be?
No, I'm talking about having the quests that are given be relevant to the character.
I hope not all shady people.
Yeah, so it's impossible
have to
for
be
this
in back alleys.
Yeah, it's impossible for this guy who's got a day job to actually be.
Why are you going to find this person in the first place?
Please,
Can I
Chris,
extend this?
Please.
Or why are you looking for him in this particular group of people?
Yeah. Right. If you had a quest chain that you finished one quest, which was, we know of an office worker in this building has some information. We don't know who it is, we don't know on what floor they are, and we don't know where they, in which cubicle they work. One of the office workers in this building has some information we need.
One of these things is not like the other.
And it isn't an objective. It's up to the player to work out who this person is.
Well, yeah, that's a special case. I don't think you're going to get any
arguments. It's not.
It might be a special case, but it's an example of a situation you might find yourself in, and it's a perfect way of setting the mainstream.
But that's like you're basically...
That's a different... The thing is, the problem that then becomes a quest to find that person.
The quest
you're getting messed up inside the metaphor. The point is, how is that situation any different from you walking into a town and trying to find someone to get a quest from? There are a bunch of people that look similar. You need to find one of them, or several of them.
I don't see what you're saying. I thought I did, but
I'm trying to think of putting this in a different way.
I don't think anybody else is going to agree on this.
No, I don't think so either. It's interesting, too, because Gavin's point is that if you're a quest giver, you should look like a quest giver, just fundamentally. But I don't know what a quest giver looks like.
Well, no,
because apparently,
that wasn't what you said.
Well, it kind of is, Gavin, because you're saying, well, what are you doing talking to office workers, and what are you doing talking to field workers?
Yes, I don't mean what are you doing talking to them? I mean, why? Under what circumstances do you envisage a situation where you would have to find someone in an office that isn't a quest to find that person? I.e., the interest will come from trying to find a way to find out who they are, whether it's because if in that situation, then it could be the person who works at this desk. In which case, you find it by hacking into the system and finding out what IP address that you've been given, which is the only thing they know about it. But I can't see a situation where you would have that little information to go on unless it was a quest, the idea of which was to make you find out that information. I really don't.
Nelson, unless you got something to explode over, which you were kind of groaning under pressure.
Like it.
No, I'm exploded.
Okay. All right. Well, grab a napkin and let's go ahead and wrap this this video up, and then we'll just move on to the next one.
Okay. So that's going to conclude this video. Thanks, guys.